we are going to explain the urban development in three main countries, which are Latin America, United States of America, and France. But firstly, we have to understand the general difference in all these countries between the bourgeois and working-class neighborhoods. Bourgeois neighborhoods were affluent, featuring well-built homes, clean streets, and access to amenities reflecting wealth and social status. In contrast, working-class neighborhoods were overcrowded, poorly maintained, with cramped housing near factories, unsanitary conditions, and limited resources, highlighting class disparity.
The landscape of France has evolved significantly over time due to historical, social, and environmental factors. Medieval era. Dense forests dominate the land, but agriculture gradually led to deforestation, creating fields, bocage in Normandy and Brittany, open fields in the north and east. Agricultural revolution. In the 18th and 19th centuries, advanced farming techniques and transportation networks like the Canal du Midi transformed rural areas into productive farmland. Industrial revolution, urbanization, accelerate with cities like Paris and Lyon expanding into rural areas. Industrial landscapes such as mines in North Pas de Calais also emerged. Modern development. The 20th century saw suburban growth and rural depopulation, particularly in more mountainous regions, while infrastructure like highways reshaped the landscape. Conservation efforts, parks and nature reserves has been established to protect biodiversity and cultural heritage, while rural tourism has rehabilitated some areas. Climate change impacts include rotating applying glaciers, coastal erosion, and shifting conditions in traditional vineyards like Bordeaux. Renewable energy. The shift to wind and solar energy has introduced new elements to the landscape, especially in rural and south regions.
The Industrial Revolution in the United States altered the landscape by reshaping both urban and rural areas between the 18th and 19th centuries. There are three main areas which were needed in this period: urbanization, industrial zones, and transport network. The transformation of rural areas was the main consequence, with these factors: agricultural mechanization, deforestation, and resource extraction. This last consisted in transforming areas in rich ones but by exploiting them. Industrial zones were the most polluted places in the moment. This problem that we are living nowadays take origin in these stems. Obviously, the construction of factories altered the landscapes. Finally, let's talk about urbanization. The rise of factories concentrated labor in urban centers. Cities like New York or Chicago expanded rapidly. The invention of steel facilitated the construction of skyscrapers. Let's don't forget that this greatest situation of the United States created in them a feeling of industrialization of America. Rachel is going to talk about the consequences of the Industrial Revolution in Boricua's places, like Puerto Rico or Hawaii.
Cancun as a city did not exist during the Industrial Revolution, founded in 1970. As a tourist destination, the effects of the global industrial influence its development. The modern infrastructure that made the construction of the modern tourist complex possible, mass tourism, steamships, planes, or trains facilitate international tourism and Cancun benefit from this. And the environmental impact reflects the pattern of resource exploitation of the industrial era. Hawaii also experienced the effect of the Industrial Revolution indirectly, as industrial power expanded the global influence. Bad Bunny, in his song That What Happened to Hawaii, denounced how Puerto Ricans, due to the political, economic, and social situation, are forced to migrate to other places like Orlando. The Islam has also been filed with North Americans who do not need any type of visa to travel. There, like the Puerto Ricans, they went to the United States and have remained residents. But Bunny does not want the same thing to Puerto Rico that what's happening with Hawaii. He fears that his Islam will be Americanized, that the resources will be exploited for the tourists and the economic goods, or that they will be prohibited from using that language, replacing of it for English, and he calls out to all Puerto Ricans to not lose their identity, represented by the flag and the traditional song Le Lo